Now, a breach of contract, just like discharge, it is a way in which a contract is discharged, but it is not the most desirable way of discharging a contract. A breach means where one or both or more, all the parties probably, do not fulfill their obligations on that contract. So it's not a very desirable way of a contract coming to an end. And in this video, I, Dr. Mariam Narona, will be discussing breach of contract, different ways in which contract is breached, and remedies for breach of contract. As I said, breach is a mode of discharging a contract, but it is not a very favorable way of or the most ideal situation as far as discharge of a contract goes. Now, broadly, there are two ways in which a contract may be breached: actual breach and anticipatory breach. Actual breach is where a party does not perform his or her part of the contract at a specific time. So, a seller promises to deliver goods, but he does not, or he delivers some damaged goods, then this is a breach of contract. And in case of actual breach, an aggrieved party, the party which is adversely affected, that is a buyer in the example which I just mentioned, can treat the contract as discharged and file a suit for damages. Now, the other way in which a contract can be breached is anticipatory breached. That is, you know ahead that this person will probably most likely not be able to fulfill his obligation. So, in this situation, an aggrieved party has the option to either treat the contract as cancelled and file a suit for damages, or he or she can treat the contract as operative and wait till the time of actual performance arrives. So it's like this: okay, if you've ordered your wedding trousseau from a designer, and you know that you come to know that the people who do embroidery or her tailors and things like that, those people are not they are unwell, or they're not able to work as per, and they're not able to keep up with orders. So most likely you know that your outfits will not be delivered on time. So either you can wait till that time arrives that they have to give you the clothes, or you can say that okay, I don't see this happening in time, and so I'm going to cancel this order. So these are the two ways in which a contract may be breached: actual breach and anticipatory breach. Now, there are certain remedies available for breach of contract to an aggrieved party. Those are broadly rescission of contract, that is, the aggrieved party may cancel the contract. Then, suit for damages, that is, the aggrieved party may be put to some inconvenience or loss, and so will file a suit for damages, that is, the compensation in terms of money which is allowed to the aggrieved or injured party, or the party who suffers loss due to breach of a contract. Then you have suit upon quantum merit. Now, suit upon quantum merit is as much as is earned. So in this type of situation, what happens is that if you know that, for example, if you know that you had ordered, at the previous example which I gave of a wedding trousseau, you had ordered some 5-6 outfits, and you know that only 2 or 3 are ready. You want to cancel the contract because you don't see the whole thing working out. You may say that okay, I'll take these 2 or 3 and I'll pay for them, but I'm not going to pay for stuff which you will not be able to deliver. So if only 2 out of 6 items are ready, I'll pay for those. So this is suit upon quantum merit as much as is earned. Then a suit for specific performance of contract. Now this may also happen that then aggrieved party may say, no, I want you to fulfill your obligation. So you can't say that my items won't be ready, or that you won't be able to deliver the goods, or this quantity is not available. You make sure that you do it. So suit for specific performance of contract may also be a remedy for breach available to an aggrieved party. Now, suit for damages, just a little bit about that in detail. As I mentioned earlier, damages are monetary compensation which the injured party or the aggrieved party is entitled to by the court for any actual losses which the aggrieved party has suffered on account of that breach of contract. So, whatever inconvenience or loss you may have suffered because of breach of contract by someone else, payment for that, whatever is the monetary value paid out to you for that, that is suit for damages. Now, types of damages are general or ordinary damages. Those arise usually in the course of things from such a case. That is, if an item was not delivered to you, then the amount should be refunded, or that item should be delivered to you. That should be ensured. Then special damages are different unusual circumstances which affect the aggrieved party. So these can be recovered only in special circumstances, and if they would result in special loss which is brought to the notice of the other party. So if it is relating to delivery of medication, so delivery of delayed delivery of medication to a critically ill patient, or an operation which goes wrong, which further limits or affects the patient's recovery or his ability to work normally, then he would be entitled to special damages. Liquidated damages are decided in advance. It's something like if this situation arises, then how much would be paid out. It's like in terms of a regular employee, either you give him 3 months notice, or you give him 3 months salary in lieu of that notice. So that is a that those 3 months salary is the liquidated damages if you just fire somebody like that. Then exemplary or punitive damages. Now this is like a sort of a punishment which is given to the party who violates the obligations he or she has on the contract. And this actually is done to basically make good the amount of inconvenience that you put somebody to. So there are these sort of punitive damages are there in case of something like if you dishonor a check, wrongful dishonor of check by a banker, then in such a case the damages will have to be paid by the will have to be restored to the customer, because he would have lost even his reputation. So exemplary or punitive damages, if there was adequate balance in his account, no banker should do that. Then nominal damages, that is a minimal thing, just for namesake, how much it would be a very minimal amount, or as much as is the damage that is suffered. Then damages for mental agony or suffering. Now these are usually caused by breach, are not allowed, but in certain special circumstances or situations they might allow it. It's like a photographer takes pictures of people at a wedding, and then he uses them without their permission. then or he's unable to deliver. That is worse still, he's unable to deliver those, something happens to his camera or something, there will be a lot of agony and suffering, because that event cannot be repeated or replayed again just for photography. So damages and sale of goods, that is where there's a contract, there's a difference in the contract price and the actual market price. So that can be, that is possible. Damages in case of quasi contracts, that is if they will be paid like as if you're breaching a general contract. And interest as damages usually are not allowed except specifically where the contract provides that the amount should be paid with with interest, or without interest, whatever the case may be. But on default, it will be this if this amount is not paid on time, on default it will be repaid with interest. So in such a case, interest may be allowed. So these are the different types of damages. So with this breach of contract, we come to the end of chapter 1, law of contracts. Thank you.